Okay, so I have the cylinder put together, and then I've cut out my darts and I've scored and slipped those back together. Okay. You're going to need to take a coil and roll this to about the size of a pencil. Okay, so if you look, like those are about the same. We're going to go ahead and score and slip this. Makes me look like I'm moving fast. Okay, so lots of texture on this. Okay, and then you'll be able to use your popsicle stick to put on some of this slip, and then you can just dot it on. Okay, and this is too much for what you need for at least one of these. So you can cut this down. You don't have to put a coil all the way down this on the inside. You only need it to fit like right where that seam is. And so then I'm just going to go ahead and turn and scratch the inside of this. Okay, and then use my popsicle stick to dot the inside. Okay, I can go ahead and like press this in, and I would press like where you're pushing on this coil so it does like round that coil into that like corner, and this will make it easier to score and slip. So I have one in there, but I need two more on these other sides. So lots of texture. And then some slip in there. So I'd be able to use this one. I might have enough. So squish it into that seam. And then same thing over here. Squish this, and you're kind of supporting the outside. Squish this in to the seam. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and I don't know if I can get this where you can see it. It's like darker up on the projector. Do you see this coil right in here? Can you see that? So half of this gets blended to one side, and then half of it would get blended to the other side. So like it's smoothed out. So just half. And our goal is to like get this to disappear. It's going to round out that corner, and then we won't like see that. Okay, let's see if there's one more. Okay, and we'll smooth this out more a little bit later, but the insides of those should be like blended. Okay, and we'll be able to take a sponge and smooth that out. Let's go ahead and put all our projects down and just turn and look up at the board. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sit this on top of a slab. Now, some people might already have a slab that they had left over that they saved. Some people might not, so you might need to go roll one out. But what I'm going to do is sit it on top, and then I'm going to trace just around that outside. I don't want to cut because I don't want to like cut at an angle. I think that's hard. You want to make sure that you're cutting straight down into the clay. Okay, and the base is not going to be like perfectly square. That's okay, just go with what shape it is. Okay, so that's what I need for mine. And I'm going to flip this upside down, and then this is going to cover the base of my pot. Okay, so then this is going to get scored and slipped. Okay, lots of texture. And then same thing on the other one. Lots of texture on this. You want this to stick. Okay, so then some slip on here. You want to make sure you don't erase this. If you erase all this texture, then it's not going to do you any good. It's not going to Velcro the pieces together. Okay, so same thing, get that on this. And then you do have to push a little bit when you put these together that it's going to like stick. So I'm going to just push around here. Make sure that it's like Velcroed itself together. And then I'm going to sit this on top again. Okay, so I'm going to flip this, put it on my slab. Maybe I can get it right above it. I don't know if that'll help. And trace one more time. And this is going to be the foot for this pot. So I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so I've got this piece. What I'm going to do is flip this over, figure out which way I really had this. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to draw a line on the inside that's 1/4 of an inch away. So I'm going to give myself like this border, this window, like around it. So I'm going to cut this out. Maybe you think you want to bring, some of them might not be as even, so you even it up. So that part I'm going to cut out, but I'm going to take it off. Make sure that I have this okay, so I'm going to pop this out. And then this is what it will look like on the bottom. I'm going to flip it over and then get this scored. Just back and forth, lots of X's, lots of texture. The clay will stick together when it's wet, but once that moisture is gone and the kiln's going to heat it up and take it out of it, it's going to fall apart. So score and slip good. It's not fun when things fall apart or even when things like crack. That's not a good thing. Okay, so get some slip on there. Same thing here. And then you will have, at least you should have a like empty cup that we can fill up with water. Okay, so this is going to go on the top. And we'll push this on, just like I said, you really do have to push to get that. We're going to make it the same size. And then you can fill up like your empty cup of water or empty cup with some water from the sink. And then this is a good time to use some of that water. You'll just dip your sponge in there, wring it out so it's damp, and then the sponge will do a lot for cleaning up those little imperfections. It'll get rid of some of the extra slip that oozed out. okay, and turn a side that looks pretty rough into something that's a lot smoother. Okay, so a sponge is a good time or a good thing to use to do that, to clean that off. You can also use like the popsicle stick to help like blend any areas that you feel like, let's see, like right here where it's kind of rough. I mean, you could go through and just kind of blend just a little bit and then like run your sponge over it and clean that side up. Okay, so just little things. I would take a sponge after you have like the base of it sponged off and kind of look at the rest of this and go through and really make this look nice. It's a lot harder to refine the outside of this once you have a handle, because then you have to juggle around the handle and not knock the handle off. So this is the best time is to clean everything up. The other thing we would want to do is clean up this edge. Okay, this would be an edge that would really hurt to actually drink out of. Okay, so I think just taking this like popsicle stick or paper clip and trimming just a little angle off this to make it a little bit thinner would be good. I mean, not a lot. We don't want to make it pointy. And then same kind of thing, just a little bit off the outside. Okay, and do what you think you need to do. Everybody has a little bit different of like what their project looks like. So do what you think you need to do, but then same thing, you've got these like edges on it. Taking a sponge and some water will really clean that up. Taking your thumb and smoothing this out is a good thing to do too. You can really change like what that looks like with just a little bit of effort. Something to think about too with this is these mugs are fired to like what's called cone 10. So this is being fired to 2,350 degrees. This is the highest